When our 8th grade English class watched the 1983 Francis Ford Coppola directed The Outsiders in conjunction with our reading of S.E. Hinton's novel, it was the first time I gave serious consideration to the impact of a film on a book that I had already read. Seeing that film made me think differently about the novel. I thought of the Greasers, Hinton's roughneck, lower-middle-class kids from across the tracks, as the good guys, since they were portrayed on the big screen by famous actors like Patrick Swayze, Tom Cruise, and Emilio Estevez. While this might have deviated from the novel's original intent, it actually improved the experience of Hinton's book for me. I could put a face to a name, so to speak, now, and everything in the book became more human and more understandable because of the way the book was portrayed in the film. But as I moved on to high school and continued on my path through the English courses at Governor Mifflin and later St. Stephen's, there was a pretty obvious lack of film in our English studies. In fact, I think I saw Finding Nemo more times than all the other films in high school put together. For someone who had been dramatically influenced by Gregory Peck's portrayal of Atticus in the 1961 To Kill a Mockingbird film adaptation, this was somewhat troubling. Why isn't film a bigger part of young adult literature studies? Researching the use of film in the classroom brought up some of the common fears about teaching with the genre. Usually the time constraints of showing films are blamed, or inattention of students during film viewings is recognized as a chief reason for not showing them. If students won't watch, they can't get anything out of them, and this is the reason some skeptical teachers refuse to integrate film into their literature teaching. But more and more often, teachers and researchers are proving that film is a useful medium for the classroom. Social studies teachers are already using movies to make connections to past events like the Holocaust. And books like Art Spiegelman's graphic novel Mouse capitalize on the effectiveness of visual support to strengthen the effects of their work. Films go one step further. The effects of film are particularly important for developing empathy, social awareness, and multiculturalism. Films about Appalachian coal miners and African genocide help illustrate the differences and the despair in certain cultures and regions, effects perhaps not fully capable of being reached in just reading about these people and places. Most importantly, however, is that film promotes creativity among students. Shakespeare's performance-based qualities have often provided fodder for Hollywood, and his works have always been among the most recreated on film. In her voice thread, Hannah talked about the trouble she had relating to the characters in Romeo and Juliet. But the 1968 film version humanized the characters for Hannah. Seeing it acted out on the screen made everything more realistic and more important to her than simply reading the text. This underscores the importance of film's ability to relate to young readers. Even for a top English student like Hannah, just reading the text left her confused and frustrated with Romeo and Juliet. But the film unlocked the value and enjoyment of the play in a way the text could not. Similarly, Bronte's Wuthering Heights confused Emily. She described the novel as difficult to understand and asked which characters were involved with each other. Dialogue, she said, made it hard to discern who was saying what. The movie version helped Emily to pick up on the sequence and to understand the plot better. She could match names with faces, she said, and was able to make more sense of the story. This is another inherent advantage of integrating film in teaching literature. Difficult novels tend to frustrate many young readers, and just keeping track of who's who can lead them to miss major elements of the story. But film's ability to organize the important people and places, which a book can't always do, eases the transition through complex stories for many young readers. There is often less information lost over the course of a film, and combining the two genres enhances both the experience of reading the novel and of seeing the film. With advancement of technology in the classroom at an all-time high, the room for film to be included in literature studies has never been greater. Even projects like this slideshow have the capacity to advance the literature experience for young adults, and personalized software and tech tools for movie making are bringing film closer to the classroom. The underappreciated film genre is mostly misunderstood in literary circles. I have found the value it can have in teaching young adult literature, and I hope you can too.